Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. With so many distractions that we don't do a lot of self-reflection. We don't do a lot of minding me or a lot of minding me, minding the business of me, right? Because we're so distracted. Because what happens is, or what's necessary, I think, to mind you, to mind me, to M-I-N-E me, to M-I-N-D me, is to really spend some time with me on the inside of me. What's happening in my heart realm, what's happening in my head. You understand what I'm saying? We don't do that with all the distractions oftentimes. There's just so much going on that we don't necessarily do that. And since we don't do that, since we don't take time to mind me or mind me, we are not being minded. We are not taken care of, right? We are not taking care. We're not treating ourselves. Good morning to all of you. Hey, love. Hey, love. I heard Life Her Way. Oh, I know who that is. That's my soror. Hey, soror. Hey, soror. So we don't take the time to actually mind who we are, right? And mind what our business is. And that's the business of me. So take this challenge. And that's the business of me. So take this challenge. I'm not sure what happened to the live. It just kind of went out. So hopefully you all are still there. But the point is to take 30 days, to commit to 30 days of minding the business of me, right? That's what I'm asking you to do with me. Because again, what I'm saying to you is I know that it's extremely important that we have a spiritual practice and that we commit to a spiritual practice so that we can show up in our best ways and our best way as we move through this life, right? Good morning, long stroke boyfriend. Good morning. So that's what I'm asking you to do, that you commit to 30 days. Now listen to this, 30 days, 30 minutes of minding me or you minding you, right? 30 days and 30 minutes a day of minding me. We're going to do that for 30 days. I'm committed to it. I want to commit to it. I'm asking you to commit with me. If you will commit with me to 30 days of minding me or minding you, right? Then I'm asking you to follow along, follow the channel. And then I want to get with you every day for 30 minutes. This is not just for me. It's for all of us. It's to learn or to commit to a practice of taking care of what minds me, what's important to minding me and minding me. All right. So I'm sitting at my computer, of course, and there's some things that came to me as I thought about 30. Why 30, right? There's typically 30 days in a month, but there are a lot of things, I don't care what people say. I was raised in Christianity, right? And in many ways that is my practice, right? However, one of the things I learned in where I grew up in my church, right, was that, we weren't supposed to be paying attention to numbers and astrology and so on and so on and so forth. And so we didn't pay a lot of attention to numbers because we were told not to, right? You don't get into that, that the numerology is of the devil and blah, 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 blah. And I won't get into any conversation about that. But what I know in my big old age, as my age is getting bigger, what I realize is I don't argue with the truth, wherever the truth lies, right? We can get so caught up in a program, or we can be programmed in such a way that we are not open to anything that's other than that doesn't fit into the little round circle that we are aware of, right? The little space, but and if you haven't, here's a great analogy. I remember one time I went to I was in Traverse City, Michigan. And I was in this really nice condo that had this huge window, right, that looked out onto the lake. And when I tell you, when you look out, we were floors up. I don't know how many floors, but way up. So it got us a really, really good sight, right? A really good tunnel out to the water. And while I'm looking out into the water, I see where Life for Waste is. I'm currently getting my November series together for my social media. This is awesome. Let's do something together. I don't argue with others about my beliefs. Life is too short. I've been watching some of the stuff you've been doing too. So let's do some stuff together, and maybe we can kind of help grow each other, right? In that way, if you don't mind. So what I noticed was, as far as the eye could see, there was water. I mean, it didn't matter how far my head turned. It didn't matter how much I stood up on to look out over the water. It was water as far as the eye could see, right? And what it was for me is a reminder of how itty bitty I am in this world, right? How minute I am in this big giant universe that we are only a small part of, right? That God created for us, right? This huge existence. I'm just a small part. So if I'm just a little bitty, I mean, if you pull up on the map and you do an aerial view, you don't have to zoom out too far before you can't see me at all, as if I didn't even exist, or the city that I'm in doesn't exist, or the state that I'm in doesn't exist. You don't have to zoom out very far from an aerial view to experience that, right? And I think it's the same way with our realm of understanding, right? The information that we have, it's the same way. We only have a little bit. The universe is huge. It's huge. And then even that, we don't even want to talk about, other planets and this or that. It's just so much bigger than me and you. So there's a lot of information to learn. And what I've learned, I'm saying that to say, what I realize is I don't argue with the truth. The truth is the truth. I don't care where it comes from. So my prayer is, right? One of the things that I request in my prayer is I ask my Creator to make me sensitive to the truth. Lord, give me sensitivity to the truth wherever the truth may lie, regardless of any programming that I have. I just want the truth. I want to experience the truth. I want to live the truth. I want to be an example of the truth, right? I want to pull the truth toward me, and I want to dispel and repel all dishonesty, anything that's not truth. So that's my prayer, right? That I can magnetize, I can bring truth to me, and I repel all that is not truth. Okay? Life Away says, I want to walk in truth. Me too. I want to live in it. I want to walk in it. I want to breathe it. I want to eat it. I want to smell it. Okay, so that's that. So what I asked in my prayer time this morning, my meditation time this morning, was where to go in this next place. What should I be doing in this existence and this time in my life right now? And what came to me was this 30-day challenge. 30-day challenges of minding me and minding me. So that's what I'm here for today. I'm going to ask you to take 30 minutes out of your day every day to find out, to excavate. I'm going to excavate me, right? I'm going to mind me. I'm going to nourish me. I'm going to honor me for 30 days, 30 minutes and 30 days. I'm going to manifest me. Whatever God has put in me for the next 30 minutes for the next 30 days. Does that make sense? If you are willing to take that challenge with me, I'm going to ask that you would follow along, and then we'll do this every day. It may not be the exact same time every day, but if you can't join us live, then for sure I could upload the video and you can just watch later. So 30 days for 30 minutes of minding me, whatever that might be. So for me, what I'd like to share with you all today, for me, I'm going to talk about one way that I mind me, right? And one way that I mind me in my ND is through my spiritual practice every morning. So every morning I set an intention of getting up or laying down. I might be laying down, it depends, but I set an intention of getting up and having a conversation and a listening ear for those who are part of my team. spiritually. So I want to hear from God. I want to hear from my ancestors, those who have moved before me. I want to hear from them. I want to hear from them anything that I might need to work on, anything that I might need to offer. I do believe that it is that more so than not, we come here with a purpose of helping other people, right? And of being assistance to others. Now, how we do that will show up differently in each of us. But every day we are born and created for a purpose, which sometimes we find we don't. It's not always easy to remember that, right? In the throes of the day, sometimes we'll forget that we are created for a purpose, and we should be doing something on a daily basis that we're created for, right? That's what purpose is about. So what I want to do, what I want to talk about today in this next, I guess about 15 minutes that we'll have in this, is I would love for us to decide or figure out what it is, what our purpose is. I talked a little bit about this yesterday. If you are a person who is wondering about what your purpose is, what am I here for? What was I created for? Because a lot of us are doing that. A lot of us are really trying to figure out what should I be doing in this life? And a lot of us are having that. We're wondering that because in the life that we're living, we are not satisfied. We work in jobs that we're not satisfied in on a regular basis. We are in families. We're in relationships that are not satisfying us on a regular basis. We are involved in social circles that are not pleasing, that don't feel good, right? Because in your heart, that's not where you should be or what you should be doing. But at the same time, you may not be sure of what it is that you should be doing. You may not be convinced of what your purpose is in this life. So this is what I'm gonna ask you to do today. And it's a short exercise. I talked a little bit about it yesterday. I'm gonna talk a little bit about it today in our day 1 of 30-day challenge. This is 30 minutes for 30 days of minding me. If you can think back to when you were a child, now this is for the person who's wondering, what is my purpose? What should I be doing in this life? If you can think back to the time when you were a child, maybe 4, 5, 6 years old, and you had time alone. Whether you had time alone because your guardian or your parents sent you in your room and said, get away from me, you get on my nerves, go somewhere and sit down, find something to do with yourself. And you went to find something to do with yourself, and you had an opportunity to play, or you had an opportunity to just have your own time uninterrupted and not disrupted, without disruption. What did you do in that free time that you had? What activities were you involved in the time that you had alone to do only what you wanted to do? Did you play? Did you go to your room and start making fake meals? Is that what you did? Right? Did you start grabbing socks and toys and throwing them in a bucket and acting like it was soup and start stirring? Did you do that? Did you run, when you were in preschool and they gave you time to play alone, did you run to the Legos all the time because you like putting things together? Did you do that? When they said, your time is yours, do what you want to do. You got 30 minutes to play. Did you go outside and organize a race with your friends, right? Where you always won? I don't know what you did. Only you know what you did. But I would say that is what you should examine. Because more times than not, we have insight into what it is we were created to do and what our purpose was or is what our purpose is by those things that we did when we were itty bitty and before we were tainted, right? Unfortunately, what comes oftentimes as we get older, as we grow, is we lose our innocence. Not only do we lose our innocence, but we also lose our connection, I think. I know. we often move away from our connection to the divine in your life, right? We move away from the core of who we are, and we start moving towards the outside of us. Does that make sense? The information that we need to be successful, to be purposeful in this life, that information lives in here. It really does. It lives in here because it's from our core where we connect with the Almighty. It's from our core that we connect with the Creator. That's from our core. And those things are housed within us. But as we get older, we move away from the center, right? I don't know about you, but that felt good to me right now, right there. That hit me. We move away from the center of everything because it's in here, right? And that's why the outside distractions, the world that we live in moves us further away from the inside where we can commune with ourselves, and we can commune with the Almighty, where we can commune with our Creator, and out into places where we are distracted, we're discombobulated. Let me go back a little bit. I saw you saying something, Life Away said, I like that, make me sensitive to the truth. That's good, absolutely. She said, I'm a healer. My purpose is to heal through music, education, and participation. I love it. I love it. I love it. My purpose is to heal through music, education, and participation. I love that. I love that. I love that. That information. I'm going to ask you this, Life Away. How did you come to that? How did you come to the conclusion that you were a healer? That your purpose is to heal through music, education, and participation? How did you come to that? Pam, welcome. I'm seeing the names I see. I'm just going to call out. Welcome to you. We are talking about a challenge. I'm putting a challenge out today. 30 minutes for 30 days to mind me, whatever your me is. Barbara Jean, welcome. 30 minutes for 30 days to mind me. That means minding you, M-I-N-D, minding you, meaning the business of you, minding the business of me, as well as M-I-N-I-N-G, mining me, excavating me, finding out what in me do I need to know so that I can move in the purpose that I was created for. That's it. Mining me, M-I-N-I-N-G, mining me. So Life Her Way said that she's a healer. She said her purpose is to heal through music, education, and participation. So my question to her is, how did you come to the realization that you're a healer? Because some of us don't know what our purpose are. That's what we're talking about today. She says spending time with the divine and understanding, I gravitate to those things naturally and it is easy. Oh, that's good. That's good. So I'm going to go back to what I originally said to this point. She said spending time with the divine and understanding that I gravitate to those things that are natural, naturally, and that are easy to me. So let me go back to what I originally said, and it ties to exactly what she's saying. All the information we need to be who we are supposed to be and who we are created to be exists within us. The information is at our center and at our core. That's why as children, when I talked about a little bit about that exercise, if you can remember what you did as an itty bitty child, when you weren't disrupted and you weren't interrupted, what you did with your time. If you can remember, oftentimes it'll give us clues to what we should be doing in our lives. And I think we know that information early on because we are not corrupted and we are so close to the divine at the time. We've only been here for, a hot minute, so we haven't had time to be distracted, nor have we had time to be bogged down with things that are not internal and that are not spiritual, right? So the older we get, the further we move from the center, not because we want to. We move further from the center and the center and the core of who we are because the society we live in just takes you away from any alone time, right? It takes you away from learning or from appreciating who you are as a person, and and the blessing, that's the divinity that's in that. Really, it takes you away from that with stuff. It takes you away from that with noise. It takes you away from that with things that, especially things, stuff and things. We get real caught up in stuff and things. Now, well, let me not say especially. I just know I'm black. I was gonna say black community, but I can't really say that because I know that the world is inundated with things and caught up in things and stuff. But I do know that many of us come from a lineage of lack, and as a result of that lineage, we're always looking for trying to get our hands on stuff and things. But the more you do that, the more you move away from the core, the more you move away from your center. Okay. And again, I believe that we have all the information we need here, because I believe this is where God speaks to us, right? That if you really want to meet, I really believe this. When I say this, I really believe this. When you really want to know what you should be doing, you're going to find out the more time that you spend in here at the center, because that is where you're going to meet the divine. That's where you're going to meet the creator. You're going to meet him when you pull into yourself. Right? And God is going to meet you where you started. Right? He's going to meet you where you started, or she's going to meet you where you started. More often than out here, when a distraction, but in here. So that is why I'm going back to what I originally said. That is why it's so important for us to have a time that is set aside just for you, just for me. Time to mind me and time to mind me. Okay? Does that make sense? Welcome, Ashley. We are talking about purpose. We're talking about a 30-day challenge. 30 days, 30 minutes for 30 days to mind me and to mind me. What are your plans? What can you commit to for 30 days? Can you commit to hanging out with us for 30 days to do the things that help us to mind ourselves? Right? Now, as you can see, I'm a middle-aged black woman, right? And if there's something another thing that I know for sure, and that is that we come up and we are programmed to believe as black women, we're programmed to believe that everything around us and everybody around us is more important than we are. I know I wasn't the only one that got that script. I know I'm not, because I have too many girlfriends and I have too much girlfriend talk to not know that's the case. We are taught to give of yourself completely to your boyfriend. Give of yourself completely to your husband. Give of yourself completely to your mate. Give of yourself completely to your children. Give of yourself completely to the church. Give of yourself completely to the neighborhood kids. Give of yourself completely to anybody that needs something. Any and everybody. Any and every cause. So much so that I really think that we're programmed to not know or not know or feel any worth unless you do that. Right? Unless you sacrifice yourselves, then oftentimes I know our worth is wrapped up into how much we give other people. Now I'm talking about black women. Now, women of other races, you can tell me your experience. I can only talk about what I know for sure to be a fact. And that is, we are taught from the very beginning, even as little girls. I often think about, I've seen this in families a lot. My mother didn't necessarily do this, but I saw it so much that I know it's truth. Even in homes, like when parents are raising siblings, you have a boy in the home, or boys or whatever, and you have a girl in the home. And I noticed that, especially in the black community, we have all kind of expectations on girls, on our little girls, right? Clean up behind yourselves. Oftentimes clean up behind them, right? Meaning their brothers. Make sure you wash your clothes, and get Junebug's clothes, because his blood's clothes need to be clean too. And that's true. But Junebug also need to know how to wash his own clothes, right? But we are taking care of, as little girls, right? We're taking care of ourselves. As we get a little older, especially in the black families, I can only talk about what I know. But you get into black families and you have teenage girls that are running everything, especially if mom is busy, because there may or may not be a husband in the home or a partner in the home, and so mom may be out working, and so who's gonna step in and do what she knows to do? And that's gonna be the teenage girl. They're gonna be washing dishes. They're gonna be cooking. They're gonna be washing folks' clothes. They're gonna be running the household while mom is out trying to make that dollar, which we all need to survive. And then as that teenage girl becomes a young adult, she's used to taking care of people, right? She's used to that. She's grown up in making sure sometimes, and you all know that sometimes they're paying bills for parents or for their mom, or parents, right? Or stepping into place to make sure those things are taken care of, because mom might be too busy, especially if she's a single parent, right? Life Her Way says, we love the hell out of boys, and that's exactly right. Yep, that's it. She summed it up. We love the hell out of boys and we rear girls. Absolutely. We raise girls, but we talk about the black community right now. Oftentimes we're raising women out of our girls and not raising boys at all. We dragging them along, but we're not raising them. So by the time they're young adults, they've already learned, these girls have already learned how to sacrifice themselves for everybody else. They already learned that. So when they start dating and what have you, and meeting different guys or girls, or however, whatever their inclination is, they are giving of themselves in way more ways than they should, because they think this is necessary to make people happy. So we become people pleasers early on, really early on, because that's what we know. So we move out into relationships that are supposed to help sustain us, right? We're moving into relationships that should be partnerships, and they're not partnerships at all, because we move into them sacrificing who we are so that the other person can be comfortable. So you find these girls or young women, because it starts really early, and especially in male-female relationships. You find this a whole lot. I can only talk about what I know, right? You find this a whole lot, that we are so used to not doing for us, even when it comes to the sexual part of it. Young women are giving, and they're never receiving. I know it. I know y'all understand that. They're giving, but they're never receiving. Giving, but they're never satisfied. And that's okay, right? That's okay. I'm not saying it's okay. They think it's okay. We believe it's okay because that's what we know. Sacrifice yourself for somebody else's pleasure. So there's no wonder that you get a grown woman who could be married 10, 15 years and say, I never had an orgasm. Right? Why? You never had an orgasm? Because she has been programmed to satisfy others in sacrifice of herself. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? That's the truth. But it don't even start necessarily in relationships. It don't start in relationships. It starts when they're itty bitty, because we teach girls that sacrifice yourself so that other people can feel good, right? And don't grow up in a household with some childhood trauma. You learn to close your mouth, right? That's the other. I know I'm probably ranting, or it probably feels like I'm ranting, but honestly, I'm not ranting. I'm really trying to keep my antennas up, because I only want to talk about what I think is going to help somebody today. So yeah, I only want to talk about what I think is going to help someone today. And what I'm feeling is this. She said they all go together. Okay. What I'm feeling is this. There are so many of us. When I say that, I'm talking about women in particular, but not even just women. Not even women. I think us, the majority, probably the majority of women, but there are so many of us that have learned to sacrifice ourselves for others in place of others. And I don't think when you think about the word sacrifice, what comes to me first of all is what I learned as a Christian, right? And we talk about the sacrifices that were made, literally. We're talking about the sacrifice of Jesus Christ, for instance, and or what comes to me whenever I think of sacrifice is always the one about Abraham and Isaac. That's really the first thing I always see. And I always think of this man taking his child and laying his child's body, right, on a sacrificial offering table with the intention of sacrificing that body, for his worship, right? That's what always comes to me. And it seems like a very, very harsh, it's not easy to it's not easy on the palate, let me say that. When I think about my experiences in life, many of them, especially in what should have been loving relationships, what I know is I have been in many cases, and I have so many examples and conversations with my sister girls that can say the same. In so many relationships, women or loving men, because it can happen to them too, are sacrificed in that relationship. When I say sacrificed, it's just as hard to me as it is to think about Abraham laying that child body on the offering, because that's really what they do. Oftentimes, you get a narcissist. You get a narcissist in a relationship with somebody who is not a narcissist, somebody who is looking to be exactly what God created them to be. And that narcissist, or people with narcissistic tendencies, will sacrifice you for what they want for themselves. They will put your ass on the altar. Because it really ain't no difference. Because if I take from you at your expense, without a bottom, I just keep taking, then you are my sacrifice, right? You become my sacrifice. I know that's a little deep, so I don't want to get too much into that. But what I will say is this. That is what we oftentimes teach our girls, not even realizing we're doing that. Because if I am raising my child, my girl, my young lady, to make sure that she gives and gives and gives, whether she receives or not, and it's all kinds of unequal, right? If I continue to do that, I am raising her, and we start again in the home with little girls. If I continue to make my child give of herself without receiving, then when she gets in a relationship, that's exactly what she's gonna do. She's gonna give of herself without receiving, and think, well, it's okay because I'm doing what God called me to do. I'm doing being the best person that I can be. I am being a nurturer. I am being I'm being a provider. I am being. Sometimes we have to be all those things, but we do not have to do those things in sacrifice of ourselves, if that makes sense. And I think I'm not gonna stay on too much longer because I don't want to get into rambling. Let me bring it all back to how I originally started. I want you to take a challenge with me, if you will. Absolutely. She's doing what she's taught. And that's what we've done. We've done what we are taught, and it doesn't serve us. It does not serve us. So that's what I want to get to. I want to get back to 30 minutes in 30 days of minding me or minding me. 30 minutes and 30 days of minding me and minding me. If you'll take that challenge with us, what I want to do every day is really delve into some of these things that stop us from our purpose. Find out. I want to mind the business of me. I want to mind whatever's going on in me so that I can get what I need, if I can so I can reconnect what I need to live a purposeful life, right? I want to reconnect because it's in here. I want to and I'm not even, we're not even going to grab knowledge that we don't already hold because it's here already, right? As I said, we know these things when we're itty bitty kids. We get away from it because of all of the BS, all the BS that becomes a part of our life and becomes a part of our milieu. Then we leave from the center. But in this 30 minutes, for 30 days, we're going to keep coming back to the center. We're going to mind the business of me for 30 days, for 30 minutes. Okay, so take the journey with us. Share this with somebody. And also, when we're on these lives together, and I'll upload it and submit it so that you can see them later if you need to. But share them with somebody if you can. Also, if there's something that you learn in your mining time, right? If there's something that you reconnected to, something you rediscovered, right? Something that you want to you want to excavate, something that you want to cultivate in this time. Chat. So put it in the chat so we can talk about it. I would love to talk about some of the things that you want to talk about as well. All right. So I know this was a little scattered, but we're going to get it together. This is only day one, and they won't be so scattered coming forward. But you know the purpose and the plan for this 30-day challenge. 30 minutes for 30 days of minding me and mining the business of me and mining me. 30 minutes for 30 days of minding the business of me and mining me. That's what we're doing. So share it with somebody. This is a conversation, so I would love to hear what you have to say in the chat as well, right? And then maybe as we move on, we can bring some of you online too and share that way. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm not sure exactly what God's going to do, but I know it's going to be good. I do know that because I know what I sensed, what I heard, what I saw when I asked, well, okay, what's next? So you're next. 30 days, 30 minutes and 30 days is next. All right. So I will see you tomorrow, right around the same time. And if not, catch the replay. Have a great day. It's been a blessing and a blast. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow.